The route beneath Stillwater House. The rain had already turned the gravel road into a winding stream of dark mud by the time Elise parked her rusted sedan outside the old house. She hesitated inside the car, windshield wipers squealing across the glass, staring at the skeletal silhouette of Stillwater House. It wasn't in any official record, just whispers. Local maps marked the region as uninhabited forest. And yet, there it stood, exactly as described in her grandfather's fragmented journal. The house with eyes like windows, still as death, but watching. Elise, a freelance writer scraping by with ghost stories and unsolved mystery blogs, had followed that single thread. A sentence her mother always claimed was nonsense, hallucination, the product of grief after the war. Yet something about it itched at Elise's thoughts ever since she found the journal, buried in a box marked, "Don't open." She pushed the door open. Rain met her face like fingers, cold and steady. The front gate was crooked, held by one hinge. The grass leading to the porch was brittle and tall, untouched by time or feet. Stillwater House loomed above her, 4 stories tall, its black shingles torn like scabs. The windows were dark, but the one above the entrance had a curtain drawn slightly to the side, as if something inside was waiting. Day 1. She explored cautiously. Despite the decay, the interior was oddly intact, untouched furniture beneath dust sheets, old photographs on the walls, a broken clock ticking backward above the fireplace. She heard nothing but the creaking of floorboards and her own breath. The second floor had a child's bedroom, toys arranged perfectly as if left mid-play, a wooden horse with a cracked face, a porcelain doll turned toward the wall. In the hallway, an oil painting caught her eye, a woman in a black veil standing under a tree. No face, just blurred skin where features should be. The nameplate read, "To remember her." That night, Elise set up camp in the downstairs library. Sleeping bag, thermos, recorder. She read more of the journal. Her grandfather wrote of roots beneath the floor and a voice like sap. The storm outside didn't relent. At some point in the night, she woke up freezing. The fire had gone out. But the sound of a child's lullaby was humming from upstairs. There was no one else there. She told herself it was the wind, but the wind didn't giggle. Day 2. Elise found a locked basement door, old iron, chained shut from the inside. She heard knocking from behind it, not pounding, just tapping, like someone politely asking to be let out. She ignored it. Instead, she went into town to ask around. The locals went pale when she mentioned Stillwater. One old man, half drunk, whispered something that lingered with her. There was a sickness in that soil. It got into the trees, into people. The house grew from it, or was fed to it. I don't know which. When Elise returned that night, she found muddy footprints in the hallway, child-sized. They led to her recorder. Someone had rewound it, played it, stopped it.
Day 3. She started hearing whispers through the walls. Words she couldn't understand, but the rhythm was unmistakable, like prayer or warning. The old clock stopped ticking completely at 3:17 a.m. She didn't remember waking, but she found herself sitting upright, fully alert, eyes staring at the painting of the veiled woman. Now her hand was raised, pointing at the fireplace. Behind it, Elise found a loose stone. Behind the stone, a box. Inside, a tooth wrapped in hair, human, still warm. She screamed. No one heard.
Day 4. She dreamed of the house itself. It had lungs, and it breathed around her. Every time she closed a door, another opened. She'd walk upstairs and find herself back in the basement. Endless loops. She began marking doors with chalk to keep track, but the marks vanished. In the hallway mirror, she caught glimpses of someone standing behind her, tall, veiled in black, always behind her shoulder, always still. But when she turned around, there was nothing. Until there was.
Day 2. Elise found a locked basement door, old iron, chained shut from the inside. She heard knocking from behind it, not pounding, just tapping, like someone politely asking to be let out. She ignored it. Instead, she went into town to ask around. The locals went pale when she mentioned Stillwater. One old man, half drunk, whispered something that lingered with her. There was a sickness in that soil. It got into the trees, into people. The house grew from it, or was fed to it. I don't know which. When Elise returned that night, she found muddy footprints in the hallway, child-sized. They led to her recorder. Someone had rewound it, played it, stopped it.
Day 6. She stopped eating. The house fed her dreams. She saw her grandfather, younger than she remembered, screaming as the roots grew through his body from the floor, crying, "It wants a story. Write it. Give it your ending." That morning, she found her journal open. Someone had written in it a single line. Day 6. She begins to listen. She had not written that.
Day 7. Elise descended into the basement. She found the chain broken, the door ajar. Inside was a garden of bones, roots wrapped through skulls like veins. At the center, a massive, twisted tree with flesh-colored bark and breathing knots along its trunk. It pulsed when she neared it. A voice came, a whisper from all directions at once. "You carry a wound. Let it bleed here. Feed me." And she remembered. The baby she lost. The partner who left. The scar she never talked about. She screamed. The roots twitched. She burned the tree, or tried. Fire erupted, but didn't consume. It circled her, then vanished. The tree remained, unmoved, watching. Behind her, the veiled woman stood at last. Not just a vision, but a towering, living presence. She raised one finger, touched Elise's forehead. "Now you see."
Day 8. She woke in the child's bedroom. Everything looked untouched. Daylight filtered gently through the curtains. The house was quiet. She stepped outside. But it wasn't the same forest. The sky was yellow. The trees leaned inward. Time didn't move. She looked back at Stillwater House. The windows were mirrors now. And in the reflection, Elise
wasn't Elise.
Final journal entry. Unknown date. Stillwater lives. It doesn't need walls. It needs memory. It feeds on pain, on hidden grief, on stories untold. The woman in the veil is not the threat. She is the mouthpiece. The true thing sleeps beneath, and it waits for hearts full of guilt. It is patient. It is kind. It lets you think you can leave. But once you write your story here, it owns you.